G'day everyone and welcome to the DUC Migrating to Australia podcast. My name is Wes Zandt and today I'm joined by Sanaz Collins, who's currently in a car in Western Australia. So Sanaz, thank you so much for making the time to do this podcast. I'm usually doing them in the evenings. It feels a bit weird doing it at 3 o'clock in the
Hey, how
afternoon.
you going? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're sitting in a car in Perth. Whereabouts are you in WA?
I've just gone to the pharmacy, so nothing too exciting.
All right. No beachfront
Feeling a bit
views.
under the weather today.
Yeah, well, we get colds and that in Australia as well. So,
Yeah.
so
But
Sanders,
there's nothing like a bit of vitamin D from the sun. That always helps.
yeah. How long have you been living in Australia for?
So, first moved on a temporary visa in June 2023.
Okay.
So almost 2.5 years. Well, 2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Now, you brought your husband Chris along, who's an IT manager, and you've got three sons. You've got Josh, who's 22, Samuel, who's 19, Leo, who's 17,
Leah.
and
Sorry, it's a girl. Leah.
Leah. There you
Sorry,
go.
yeah, Leah.
So we
Last
got
time I checked, she
yeah.
was a girl.
Nah, still will be. Still will be. So Leah came with you, and so what visa did you arrive in Australia on?
So we applied for the 489 because of my age. I was on the cutoff point so there was no time to wait for the PR straight away. So we
Yep.
basically went on a temporary visa. At the time, we got it in 2019. And then we were
Yep.
hit by COVID, so that delayed us. And luckily, they extended it because of COVID.
Yep.
Um, so we decided very last minute. My best friend from the UK emigrated. She started the application after us because we were going, and then she emigrated in the May of 2023. So I came out just for 1 week to
Yep.
visit her, and in that 1 week I got secured a job, secured a house, and went back and said we're going.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow. Wow. How
yeah,
good's
it was
that?
full on.
You've been a popular mum, but I guess
Not
so.
very popular at the time.
No. You would have had teenage kids, young adults, really, aren't they? Back then as
Yes,
well.
yeah. Back
Um,
then they were teenagers. Yeah.
and Chris was always like the idea of moving to Australia. Who instigated the move? Was it
Oh,
yourself or your partner?
oh yeah. So it was always we've been together since 1999. So it was always our dream, even before kids, to move to Australia. So I basically qualified in nursing in 2016 to emigrate. That was one of the incentives, one of my goals, to get that qualifications, work for a few years in England and then emigrate. And then kids happened and it just, yeah, didn't happen straight away.
Yeah, yeah, it sort of snowballs from there. So, how exciting! So you retrained. So what were you doing before you were a nurse?
I was a teacher for students, foreign students. So I
Yep.
did the TEFL. So I did that for 10 years and then I retrained. Um, and then, yeah, but Chris was always fixed on going to the East Coast. But my best friend from England moved to the West Coast. So when I visited her for a week, and I fell in love with it, when I got the job in the house and everything, secured it, Chris was still thinking, no, it's too much hassle to even emigrate, let alone go to the state that I don't want to go to. So it was really me in the end instigating it. He just felt like that ship had sailed. But when I went back and said, look, I've got a job and a house, I've done it, I've secured everything. And it was actually my idea that, because the boys were still in full-time education, my eldest was in uni, the other one was at college. So I said to him, look, why don't I go with Leah, establish everything? Because he was really worried about leaving his job and he was a bit more, being the main breadwinner, he was really concerned. So he agreed to that. So for the first year, I basically moved with Leah, which was
Yep.
the hardest thing I've ever done, probably. and yeah, so that was
Did
that. And
Sanaz, did they have to come over and get their visa, get their passport stamped and everything?
yeah, so that's right. So in the October 2023, so I went back once, and then they came in the October, the three of them, just to validate everything.
Yep.
Um, so then they were all good to go. So they only came for 1 week, and then they went back, and then Leah and I went back Christmas, and then they came back a couple of months later. Uh, I, I didn't go more than 4 months maximum without seeing. Initially, when Chris was there, it was 2 months maximum, and then when Chris came last year, so a year later he came. I'd go maximum 4 months without seeing the boys because it was just so hard.
Yeah, I bet. It'd be
So
horrible.
it's been financially the most we've spent ever, but it's the best thing we've done. No
And,
regrets.
and when you say you organised a job and a house, was that house organised through the employer, or was it just something that you did?
No,
Was it part of the deal, or just something you did yourself?
no, literally, I went there for 1 week to stay with my friend whilst I present in person to APRA. So APRA's the professional body for nursing in
Yep.
Australia. So I had to present in person. So I presented in person. So I only went for like 7 days, 7 to 10 days. I think it was 7 days. Presented in person and literally got myself a job interview while I was there. Got the job, looked for loads of houses, and yeah, secure. And people say that it's really difficult to find houses here, but touch wood, I've never had that struggle.
Yeah, I guess you sort of can't, you were probably at a good time when there wasn't much movement around.
Yeah,
Um,
and sheer
not too much.
determination.
Yeah, well, that also helps a dash of yeah, determination. I think without any sort of determination, Australia becomes a dream for many rather than a reality.
I
So
think so, and I think, I'm a sheer example of don't give up on your dreams, no
yeah,
matter what the challenge. I mean, my journey's been quite challenging with leaving the boys behind and all of that. And in the back of my mind, it's always been in the hope that they're going to see the light and come. And also, I wanted to give them that option for their future. So I got them the visas as well and made sure that they traveled here to visit as many
well
times as
done,
they can. Yeah, so that
well
they've
done.
got that opportunity to go forward with the PR as well.
Yeah, yeah. So you would have been a very hated mother at the start when you came back and said we're moving, but then I think in a couple of years you'll be the best mum in the world because they
Well,
won't have
yeah,
to
I
move
mean,
for a skills
uh,
assessment or anything like that.
yeah, I mean, it took 2 years, and my eldest son has now he moved at the end of August this year. No, start of September. And he hasn't looked back, and I never thought I'd see the day where he moves.
Yeah.
But he gave it a shot because I think it just became he had struggles that, it's expensive. England's expensive, and trying to live there without your family is challenging. So I think he just saw
How did
the
they
light
live?
in the end. Pardon?
So, how did they live? Were they like? Did you keep a place for them? How was it?
Yeah, so financially we did support them. My eldest, I mean, they both stayed in the family home because we still haven't sold. So it's been a night. The market in England's shocking at the moment. So the deal was that, look, we'll put the house on the market. When Chris came over, we put the house on the market. So it's been on the market since last August. And the deal was that they can stay there until we sell, and then we'll sort them out with a
Gotcha.
place of their own. But yeah, in that time, Josh did move in with a girlfriend at the time, and it was just financially a struggle. So then he moved back with his brother into the family home, and
Yep.
then yeah, and then I think it just became, because my middle one, he's busy at uni now, and he's got his own sort of girlfriend circle of friends. So for him, he was always in and out and busy. So I think Josh just felt a little bit isolated and lonely without having us there as well. So, and he did love it in Australia. Every time he visited, he loved it. He loves the weather. So he was just like, I'm going to give it a shot. So he's come over and loves it.
Yeah, good on him. So what's Josh doing for work now? How long has Josh been here for?
So Josh came at the start of September.
Oh, so
Um,
it's quite new.
yeah, he came at the start of September with the mindset of, I'll come for a couple of months and see. And then in the first week he was here, he got a bar job literally by the waterside. And from there, he's, met loads of people. He's met a nice girl. Yeah, so he's got a really good social life now, just in that short period of time. And
Yep.
now he's saying, yeah, I'm not going back.
Oh, how good. And then Leah, what's she? Is she at school, is she?
So
High
she's just
school or?
finished. Yeah, she's just finished year 12, and she's working. She's just landed a second job, so she wants to take a year out before she goes to TAFE. So
Gotcha. And
for those that don't know, TAFE is like a equivalent to college in the UK.
yeah, yeah. Most people end up, it's uni or TAFE, isn't it really? You either get a degree or a certificate of, a level three.
Yeah.
Um, and how does it work on a 491 visa, TAFE and everything like that? Or will you be qualifying for like when you qualify for your 191 visa?
No, so we came out on a 489, and we've just been granted PR.
Oh, okay, God, okay, oh, because you got it so long ago. So now and with all the kids get onto the PR as well?
Yeah, so they're all on. Yeah, that's what I
Oh,
mean. So I made sure that,
well done.
they were on the 489s, they visited loads, and luckily they didn't need to actually be physically living here because they were studying over there, so they had a reason why they weren't here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I got them PR as well. So we applied for the PR in when was it? At the start of August this year, and we
Okay.
got granted on the 9th of October. No, sorry, July, at the start of July.
Yep.
Yeah, 8th of July we applied, I think, and then 9th of October we were granted. So it was just the fastest thing ever.
That's really quick.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So
So
we're
good.
we're now
So
on the 887.
Samuel's got PR. That's
Pardon?
amazing, isn't it? So now
Yeah.
Samuel's got PR. He can, he's a dual citizen, really, isn't he? Like,
Well, we haven't
once
got
he
we
gets
haven't
his
got
citizenship.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So you know, hopefully he said that once he finishes his degree in 2027, and he said that he's likely to come out and at least do a year here, so I'm keeping everything
And obviously,
crossed.
yeah, yeah, me too. And obviously, it's pretty tough. It would be, I mean, how hard was it to sort of say, look, I mean, I'm a dad. I think most people listening are mums and dads, and my kids are quite young, so they have to come with me for legal obligations.
Yeah.
But I bet it would have been a tough call to sort of say, all right, Chris, we're going to put us first now because this is our opportunity to get PR. I've gone back and studied, I've retrained. And then to leave the
oh,
kids, did you
oh,
always know it was the right decision, or were you a bit anxious at any point?
it's been the hardest thing I've done because we're a very close-knit family. I've never left them a day in my life in terms of, like, not seeing them. you know, yeah, it was the hardest thing, and I've had many wobbles. I make it sound so easy. I've had many wobbles. I've had doubts. I've cried. I've, said to Chris, "Are we doing the right thing? Should we go back? I can't live without them." All of these emotions have gone through my head, but when you look at the bigger picture, and we think, well, there, loads of people move areas, move homes. Even in the UK, people can move from England to Scotland or to Ireland, or
Yeah,
within the UK, people move and their kids go with them. And I know it's millions of miles across the ocean, but the way we've said to them is, look, you've got your family home is now in Australia, but you're making the choice not to come, and we respect that decision. But we also have to follow our dream, because it was pre-kids. Our dream was pre-kids, and some might
Yep.
say, oh, I could never do that. And it is personal choice. But the good thing is that we always had their support. They were old enough to understand that. And I think they respected the fact that we gave them that autonomy and we gave them that choice. You know, we could have put our foot down and said, you're coming, you know, but we didn't want to cause that upheaval for them. It had to be when it was right for them, you know, and
Yep.
now otherwise they'd be miserable. So all I've ever wanted is for my children to be happy, but we couldn't carry on life in England. You know, things are just getting worse, going from worse to worse, financially, everything. The sun's shining here 80% of the time, you know. It just makes a whole lot of difference. And we thought, well, we still maintained the family connection. We still, you know, saw each other every couple of months and we made it count. We paid for their flights anytime they wanted. You know, they'd pick up the phone. If they were struggling in any way emotionally, they'd be on the next flight. You know, it didn't matter how much it
Yeah.
cost. So there was never, and you know, if they wanted money, we'd send them over money. You know, there was never any way of their life being difficult. It was just they had to do what was right for them, and so did we. So it was like, yeah,
It
that,
sounds like you sort of gave them real life decisions. Do you know what I mean? To make,
yeah,
and then
and
it's up to them to sort of make them.
that's right. I just felt we just both felt as parents that it wasn't right to force them at their age. You know, they had girlfriends, friends, a life out there, and we had to respect that. And by the same token, they showed us respect by accepting our decision. They might have, you know, at the
Yeah.
beginning they might have not liked it, obviously, but they were always supportive. You know, if I had a meltdown, that they were like, Mum, you know, I'd say to them, shall I come? Should we give up? Should we come back? And both the boys were like, no, because we can see it's better for the future. We're just not ready now.
Yep.
So, you know,
Now,
it was always a decision that we always run past them.
yeah, perfect. Well, it sounds like it's worked well. Now, what's it like working in? Did you ever work in the UK as a mental health nurse?
Yes, yeah. So I qualified in 2016. So up until 2023, I was working as a nurse there.
Yep. And what's the difference? You know, like can you because we migrate lots and lots of nurses. So what would you say would the difference between working in the UK compared to Western Australia?
Well, the weather that makes a big difference. You know, you're driving with the
Yeah.
aircon on or the windows down, or you know, and because I'm a community nurse, so at the moment I'm not doing any home visits. They come into clinic, but you know, I've had jobs here where you are doing home visits like I was in the UK, and you know, and it's just beautiful and the scenery is just wonderful, you know. The pay is, I'm getting probably double what I was getting in the UK, so that makes a big difference. All of the salaries for me and my husband, it's like literally double. So that's a massive bonus. I guess that's how we've been able to afford all these flights, and things like that. Um, and the people are friendlier, you know, everyone's happy to be alive here, you know, they're not moping or miserable, you know. So it definitely,
Yeah.
it's a better environment to work in, 100%.
And then with your so work, there's lots of work in WA for nurses, I mean, especially mental health nurses. That's
Yeah.
always been a big area where people have been looking. So, what about your partner Chris, being an IT manager? Was it did he struggle with work, or is it something that he got straight into?
So he was actually really lucky. The job that he was doing in the UK, he actually went, a position came up last year, round about the time that he was about to move. A position came up which was similar to his position in the UK. So he went,
Yep.
he had to re-interview and everything. He went for 5 interviews to get it. It wasn't a direct transfer, and he was lucky enough to get it. So he had everyone from the UK in his business, you know, backing him and everything. So yeah, so he was lucky enough to get it. So he's now working at that place, but in Australia. So in their office is in Perth, but he's lucky to work from home as well. So it's all just fell into place nicely.
Yeah, it sounds like a really, really good, transition as well for
Yeah.
him because similar sort of company. And what about him? You know, he always wanted to go to the East Coast. Whereabouts in the East Coast was his goal?
So we were thinking originally north of New South Wales or Queensland.
Yeah,
So I think he wants to go there, but there's more natural disasters. The climate's better in WA. It's got everything. It's got everything that we both could ever dream of.
yeah.
Um,
Is he
and
happy though? Does
oh,
he ever
it's
think, oh, I wish I was there, or is he just
no,
content now? Set.
no. And now he's like, we're not ever leaving WA.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah,
For the
no,
listeners
he's
out
he's
there,
he's stoked. He's really, really happy.
yeah, oh, that sounds awesome. So I guess you've done it. You know, you've done it. You must be pretty proud of yourself. I mean, to a follow your dreams, work hard, get to a position where you retrain. When you knew you wanted to go to Oz and retrain, was that transition to be a nurse? Was that easy for you, or were you thinking about another occupation, or was it always nursing?
It was probably because of my age as well at the time. So I'm 47 now. So at the time I was in my late 30s. When I qualified, I was in my late 30s. But at the time, it was just easier. I started off by doing a psychology degree, but it was just too competitive to get into psychology. So I went down the nursing route, and um, I've always been interested in mental health. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the only reason I did my nursing, but definitely one of.
Yep.
And it was difficult. I had 3 children under the age of 10 at the time when I was studying. Um, so it was really massively difficult to get the qualification. But, I came out with a first class honours, which I've never been an A student. So I was
There
quite
you go.
surprised at that. Yeah. But,
Oh,
I
good.
think, I think our journey really sums up that no matter what the challenge is or the hesitations, if you can follow your dreams and you can succeed, with perseverance.
Oh,
Even up,
sure.
up until the day that we got our PR, we had Vic, and she'll tell you that, I was quite hard to, I was like on it constantly. Um, and I think that's what's needed, yeah, I think anyone can do it if you put your heart and soul into it.
Yeah. I think, look, the challenge is, what did you get in your English test? Do you remember?
Oh gosh, I mean, that was one of the challenges, even though I've lived in England all my life, it was quite difficult because I did the PTE, so I did the online one. Um, and it took me 5 attempts, I won't lie, to even get that. So every time I'd book that was money gone.
Yep.
Just because, I mean, my reading and writing was perfect, but it's the speaking. It picks up from other people next to you because you're in like these booths. So people that English isn't their first language, um, it was picking up their accent. So I kept failing on the speaking. So yeah, but that
You're
that
not
was a
failing on
challenge.
speaking in this podcast. You're doing really well. We can even hear you with the background noise. It's working well. It's good.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'm really stifling in this hot car, and I keep putting the windows down and then putting them back up because it's actually really hot
How hot
today.
is it there today in WA?
It's
What's the
about
weather?
28, I think.
All right.
Yeah, so
That's pretty
it's
good.
pretty hot. Yeah. So I'm sat in a car and I've put the windows up because of the noise. So yeah, I'm sweaty.
And what what are you doing in your spare time? What do you guys do in your spare time now you're in WA?
Oh, everything and anything. If we're just having a chill day, we'll be sunbathing in the garden, sunbathing on the beach. We go hiking. The weather's always so good, even throughout the winter. Um, we love kayaking. We've bought a kayak. I've just bought a new car. Um, so I've bought an off-roader, so we're going to go on the beach with the car. There's just so much you can do. My husband's a surfer, so he loves to surf. He goes surfing. We've got a indoor rock climbing wall just down the road, which Josh, my eldest, has just got into, so he goes with Chris. We have friends over, we do barbecues on the beach. Yeah, just we travel 2 hours south, 2 hours north. It's just brilliant. You can do anything you want.
So it's not sort of something migrating, in your 40s, in your late 40s, well, mid 40s, I guess. Same, you're
Yeah,
similar
yeah.
age to me. So it's sort of something that everything that you're doing, active wise, and everything like that. There's lots of people our age all out and about doing it as well. It's not just full of young people there, is it?
No, no, there's loads of things to do for families. There's loads for youngsters, older generation, middle aged. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, we
100%.
hear that a lot about Perth. That's where it's good. And sometimes people say it's like a sleepy sort of city. Is it?
Not really, only if you want it to be. So my son was worried about that, but now that he's got his social circle, they're out drinking, and I'm like, where are you going? Like, where is there to drink? But it's because if you want to do that, that you can. Um,
Yeah.
but obviously, if you just want the quiet night in, which a lot of people do, that's fine too, but we go out for meals a lot, and that's something that we couldn't really afford to do in England. Every other day we're eating out, or if even if it's either brunch or breakfast, or one of the meals we'll be eating out. And it's just something that, first of all, the weather never enticed us to do in the UK. Second of all, money was quite tight, even though
Yep.
we were both in really good jobs. um so yeah, I mean, my son went clubbing in Perth last weekend, um, and then he's drinking with his mates locally to us. So there's just everything for everyone. 100%.
And
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. And so you mentioned a couple of times like cost of living. So you feel as a family the cost of living's better for you in Australia than what it was in the UK.
100%. Because the wages are literally double. Even my son, he's got a bar job, but he's earning double per hour. um so it seems to be across the board that everyone earns much higher wage in Australia than in the UK, and the cost of
Yep.
living is also cheaper. um so yeah, it's and the houses are bigger. If we were to get a mortgage here, first of all, once we sell that house, we could be mortgage free. We could have a
Wow.
house with a pool. Every other house has a boat. If you have a boat in England, you're a millionaire. um
Yeah.
but we've looked into getting a boat. That's something that we couldn't have ever done. So yeah, every other house has a boat. It's like a car to them. um there's just more opportunities, and there's more opportunity that, and and for my daughter, there's more opportunities in terms of educational pathways. She doesn't have
Yep.
to go to uni to succeed. She's not very academic, so she doesn't have to go to uni. She can go to TAFE and follow a really good pathway that way. There's just more options.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what advice would you give to other people? Because I think yours is such a good story, but what advice would you give to others?
I would just say, obviously, with anything you do in life, there is planning involved. I am a little bit spontaneous, but yeah, I would just say follow your dream. If in the heart of hearts you want to emigrate, and you've got the qualifications or whatever you need to emigrate on your particular visa, then anything's possible. I certainly 5 years ago wouldn't have looked at my life in the future and thought I'm going to be living in WA. There's no
Yeah,
way. And
and
even with
enjoying it so much.
yeah, with COVID happening as well, we thought that was the end of the road. And then after, when COVID started to die down, we had a email to say your temporary visas have been extended by 3 years. And then I said to Chris, this is our chance. And he said, no, ship sailed, no way. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to get my APRA anyway. I'll go over and see. And then, yeah. came back with it. So if it wasn't for me, I don't think it would have happened. And I'm not saying that to blow my own trumpet. You know, even Chris said Chris thanks me every day.
Yeah. No,
He
I
thanks.
get that, Sanaz. It's not about
Yeah,
blowing your own trumpet. It's about, this is why we do these podcasts. It's about sending a message. And it
yeah,
is, and that, your message is go out and do it. Get it done. Put yourself in that position, because if it doesn't work, you can always go back. You made that clear with the kids. But if it does
yeah,
work, option B is really good, kids. And now, you're one short, and hopefully Samuel can come out when he finishes his uni and everything like that. And you've given him that opportunity because he's got PR. So,
exactly. You know, and I think that it was always an open door policy. You know, this is your home. The kids have had a bedroom in our house. We've got a 4-bedroom house. Their bedroom has always, I made it all nice. It was their bedroom
yep.
from day one. From the minute I stepped foot in Australia, it was as if they were moving with me. You know, so, and their rooms have been left untouched. So yeah, I think, Josh, certainly he can see that now, and he's very grateful. Sam is much better than he was, and he's very understanding, and yeah, and they've matured a lot as well. They relied on me so heavily when I was in England on everything. They're typical boys. Mom, what's there to eat? Mom, they've learned life skills. They've learned to be independent. They've learned to manage money. They've learned to make their own meals. So something positive has come out for them, and they've told me that, and they've seen that as well. So it's not all bad.
Nah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Sanders, I don't want you getting heat exhausted sitting in that car, but I want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and congratulations. It's been an adventure, and you've managed to get a family of 5 PR. Battled
Thank
through
you
a
so
pandemic,
much.
retrained, and you've been an
Yeah,
amazing client of the Down Under Centre. So, thanks
I
again.
just
And
I
okay,
just want
carry on.
to say, I just want to say thank you to the Down Under Centre as well, and Vic in particular, for all the hard work put into getting us our PR. So yeah, I just we're really grateful. Like, yeah, and every day I'm pinching myself still. It still hasn't sunk in. Every day I'm pinching myself that because there was a point I thought we weren't going to get our our temporary visas were running out in January 2026, so it was really touch and go for a little bit,
Yep.
because of the amount of times I'd gone back to the UK to visit the boys. The department was raising concerns about that, but luckily, with Vic's hard work and my perseverance, yeah, we got it.
No, that's
So
awesome.
thank you so
So
much.
good. No, you're very welcome. We love what we do. This is exactly what we do, and I'm just so grateful people come on and do these podcasts, because we're not like a professional podcast company. We're just a migration business that will try and focus on the emotional side of migration, because that will make everyone's transition easier. And for you to share the emotional side that you had, I think it's really valuable to all. So thank you again, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure we'll speak soon.
Thank you so much, Wes.
All right, catch you later, guys. Keep
Thank
safe,
you.
everyone. Keep your dream alive to to get to Oz. We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.